Imagine you're an ancient soldier, right? Trying to prove you're fit for battle. And the commander, he doesn't ask you to swing a sword or lift a boulder. He just points up at the night sky, specifically at the handle of the Big Dipper, and says, "How many stars do you see right there?"
Yeah, and if you could see two stars instead of one, well, you passed. You were ready for war.
Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're taking you on a mission to decode this really incredible overlap between Hindu mythology, astronomy, and ancient engineering. We've got sources covering the sun, a creator named Rishi Kashyapa, and how these ancient texts mapped the cosmos.
Right, and before we jump in, we should note that we're just unpacking the ideas from these sources. We aren't endorsing any specific religious or political viewpoints, just impartially reporting on what the texts actually say. The brilliance here is how they use narrative as a survival mechanism.
Which makes total sense. Before written records, the best way to make sure complex data survived was to encode it into an oral tradition.
Exactly. Turning hard data into memorable myths. Take the sun, or Surya, as an example.
Right, the text describes Surya riding in a chariot, which, I mean, at first glance sounds like typical folklore, but there's actual math hiding in the design of this chariot.
There really is. It's remarkably precise. So the chariot is pulled by 7 horses, which, sure, they symbolize the 7 days of the week,
Uh-huh.
but they also represent the refraction of white light into the visible spectrum. Like what you probably memorized in school is VIBGYOR.
Oh, wow. So they were essentially documenting light physics using horses.
And timekeeping, too. I mean, the chariot has a single wheel called Samvatsar, representing the full cycle of a solar year. And it has exactly 12 spokes for the 12 months.
It's like a highly advanced cosmic clock or a prism.
Yeah, and they even factored in a charioteer named Arun, who drives ahead of the sun. This symbolizes the atmospheric shielding protecting the Earth from the sun's most intense, destructive heat.
But, observing a solar calendar requires a stable platform to observe it from, which logically brings us to the sun's mythological father, Rishi Kashyapa.
Yes, and his name actually translates to tortoise.
Which I assume represents earthly stability.
That is pretty much the foundation of his story. Kashyapa is known as the ultimate progenitor. According to the sources, he fathered practically everything.
Wait, everything?
Yeah, like with his wife Aditi, he birthed the gods, including the sun. With Didi and Dana, he fathered demons. And with other wives, birds, snakes, and aquatic life.
It's like mythology's way of illustrating an evolutionary tree, linking this extreme biodiversity back to a shared cosmic DNA.
That's a great way to put it. But the texts also say he was an engineer. They describe him draining a massive prehistoric lake called Sadasar by cutting a gap in the mountains.
Okay, let me push back on this for a second. Draining a lake to build a civilization sounds like a classic flood myth. Is there actual geological evidence that this area was underwater?
Surprisingly, there is. Modern geology confirms that the Kashmir Valley was indeed a massive Pleistocene lake.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It eventually drained through the Baramulla Gorge. Plus, the name Kashmir actually comes from Kashyap Mir, or Kashyapa's lake. So they encoded actual geological history into the story of a sage.
Okay, so he's a terraforming engineer, a biological father, and he's also literally mapped into the stars. Because he's one of the Saptarishis, right?
Right, a group of 7 sages corresponding directly to the Ursa Major constellation.
But hang on, science tells us our sun was formed from a long-gone supernova. Are the texts claiming the stars in Ursa Major created our sun?
Oh no, not created. The Saptarishi stars are contemporary to our sun.
Ah, so they're more like cosmic siblings surviving from the same stellar neighborhood.
Exactly, not its ancestors. And their practical application was vital for ancient navigators. They used the 2 front stars of the Big Dipper, Duhair and Merak, as pointer stars.
To draw a straight line right to the North Star.
Right. And this brings us back to that vision test you mentioned at the start. The second star in the handle is actually a binary star system, Mizar and Alcor.
Oh, so that's what the soldiers were looking at.
Yeah. In the myth, they are the sage Vashista and his wife Arundhati. If you've ever sat in an optometrist's chair trying to read the bottom line, well, you've taken the Saptarishi test.
Seeing both stars meant perfect visual acuity. That's wild. But going back to Kashyapa for a minute, if he fathered the gods, the demons, and humanity, how did ancient thinkers organize all these opposing forces?
Well, they mapped it out like a cosmic ecological terrarium. You have Swarga, which are the upper heavenly realms for the gods.
Okay, like the top floor.
Right. Then Baloka is the ground floor for humans. That's the realm of karma and action. And the basement, Batala, is for demons and snakes.
So it isolates the predators from the prey to maintain balance. But in any terrarium, the soil occasionally needs to be turned, right? Did these separate realms ever have to interact?
Rarely, but yes. The most famous example from the sources is the Samudra Manthan, the churning of the cosmic ocean.
Right, where they had to collaborate.
Exactly. The gods from the top and demons from the bottom realized they couldn't achieve their ultimate goal, extracting the nectar of immortality, without working together. They had to temporarily merge their isolated zones.
To keep the universe functioning, I mean, what we've explored today really proves that these ancient narratives were a highly sophisticated repository.
Oh, absolutely. They built a massive database of human knowledge covering refraction, geological shifts, and planetary navigation. But they formatted it as an unforgettable story.
So we'll leave you with this to chew on. If ancient minds successfully encoded the physics of light and binary star navigation into tales of chariots and sages, what modern scientific truths might be hiding in plain sight within the ancient myths of other cultures you haven't even looked at yet?